So the slaves are taken from the West Indies to their final place, whether it's in the United States, colonial America, or Brazil, or elsewhere. Our concern is with colonial America. Famous African-American history textbook of years ago, wonderful title, Before the Mayflower it's called. The Pilgrims came over to Plymouth Rock in 1620. The first shipload of Africans arrived in Jamestown, Virginia in 1619. Before the Mayflower. Earliest blacks arriving in those colonies were technically indentured servants. Indentured servants. Not called slaves necessarily. There were white indentured servants, there were black indentured servants. And in some of those southern colonies, the white masters might feel threatened, understandably threatened, because of the potentiality of an alliance, of a lower class alliance between black and white indentured servants that would outnumber the masters. In those earliest days, indentured servitude had a limited amount of time that you had to serve. And black indentured servants as well as white might serve that time and then be free, free to purchase land. And we know of various black ex-indentured servants who became quite affluent in their successful farming. This is early on. But the masters who are trying to avoid revolt from below of black and white unity, the answer is to differentiate between black and white indentured servants. That is to say, to drive a wedge between them to break up that potential alliance. And that's exactly what they did. Over a period of time, changing the legality, the status of blacks in those colonies. Extend the time of indentured servitude from 7 years to more. Then make it a lifetime of indentured servitude. Then write a law that says that the children inherit the status of their father for indentured servitude. And now we can drop the facade of indentured servitude and call it what it ultimately be. And that would be slavery. Chattel slavery. Chattel means property. The ownership, in this case, of another human being. But in the eyes of the law, not a human being. In the eyes of the law, a piece of property. The master owns horses, the master owns plows, the master owns slaves. In the eyes of the law, that would be basically the same thing. This evolves as we go through the 1600s until we get full-fledged slavery. Now, slavery existed both in the South and in the North. We know of a long history of slavery, of black slavery, in a city like New York. The question we may ask, however, is why slavery did not take hold in the way that it did in the southern colonies. The answer certainly is not that the North was morally superior to the South. No, that's not the answer. The answer is much simpler, really. Climate, land. The cold climate of a place like New England, can't grow crops during that time. The southeastern part, where the southern colonies are, warm weather throughout the year, all season growing, makes a difference. The soil in the Northeast, much more rocky, hilly terrain. Southern colonies, flat expanses of land, much more conducive to slave plantations. It is this factor that argues against the expansion of slavery in the northern colonies. It also allows for a great deal of hypocrisy. For some northern business
Sample complete. Ready to continue?